Let's have this reply sleep for 1 second so we can simulate some real traffic. So when I make a request to hello Jeremy, I should see a response, hello Jeremy. Great. Now what if we wanted to scale this?
Well, hello, and welcome back. So what I'm going to be working on tonight is I've got most of the pieces that I need. Yes, it is. That is Zanarkland. I don't know how you pronounce it. I haven't actually played Final Fantasy X. Don't tell my friends. Yuna at Zanarkland by Sui. I'm not as massive of a music guy as I used to be, but yes, I am. I love classical video game music in particular. Well, that's why it's always on the stream. Anyway, what we're working on tonight is I've got the pieces together that I should be able to spin up a new server and have it automatically get a domain. I think. I guess we're missing the domain piece itself, maybe, but I could probably. Let's see. Let me think about this. I could probably just do a wildcard domain and have it work that way. DuckDNS, I think, gives you wildcard domains. I don't know if I included the name.com. Anyway, we're going to see what we can do. I just want to be able to run a command, create the server, and then also have it accessible through SSH over TLS immediately. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's see, what do we have here? Let's go put that one on a different screen for now. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back up. And then, I don't know. Here's what I'm going to do. 0700.config. And I'm going to make it a Proxmox. Whoops. Locator-P. I'm going to chmod that 0700 as well. And then I'm going to create a config Proxmox. I'll just call this, I guess, E and V. Yeah. And we're going to say Proxmox API token. So, when did you start doing stuff with Proxmox? That's what I want to know. I don't play piano. I don't play anything. I used to be a DJ, and I loved orchestrating the evening. I got a real kick out of the ebb and flow of emotions that people will go through. Mainly, I am into VGM, and I really like country, and I like 90s alternative. So stuff like Matchbox 20. On maybe the more wilder side, Hot Hot Heat. Also, Gin Blossoms, some of that kind of pop stuff. That was really my jam. I loved punk for a while when I was, high school. Blink-182, Good Charlotte, MXPX. But I've always loved VGM, from chiptunes to classical, just about everything in the VGM genre. And then country. Country just speaks to me. Country feels real. So here's a problem that I have. I do not remember where I put this project. I probably put it in here under a folder called Proxmox, maybe? No? No? Let's see. I guess I'm going to have to rewatch the stream. Oh, I put it under Rocket. That's a little bit silly. But we'll go with it for now. Okay. And then these values don't really matter. I mean, what I mean by that is it's fine to show them off. I'm going to recycle these tokens later anyway. Shell check. And nobody has access to this thing yet. Let's see. Was it 1091? No? Dang it. I gotta start memorizing some of these shell checks. I wish they would just put what it is in the warning message. $20.34. That'd be really nice, because then I'd know what to disable. So this Alpine one's not going to work for me. I'm just going to comment this one out. Oh, weird. Why is that not showing up as commented? I'm going to have to grab the Ubuntu. So what I need to figure out how to do is have the Alpine come pre-installed with SSH, because the authorized keys file is there. But it doesn't come with SSH. So we're going to go to create CT. And I just want to see what the name of the template is. So I'm going to use my handy dandy text sniper to copy text as an image, because we can't select text anymore the old-fashioned way. All right. So there's our template that we're going to use. And then I need... I guess I need a way to access the Caddy interface that is bearer protected. Let's see. We could do Caddy user equals API. Caddy secret equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Was it this one? Hey, I got it right. I'm starting to remember. Okay. So, where did I put... Okay. So I don't know why I put that here. Oh. Doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and just make a random secret for Caddy. There we go. And then I need to remember how to do this, because what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to proxy Caddy back to itself. We're going to see what we can do here. There's a... Okay, Caddy hash password. That's what we need to run here. Enter password. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to need... We're going to need to do basic auth /API/admin. I'm just going to create a little Caddy file example here. Basic auth Whoops. That's kind of what I wanted to do. So this is going to be example.com. So what were you saying you were going to do with Proxmox? Okay. API hash password. And then let's see, how should I do this? I think I'm going to rebuild Caddy. Oh, but wait, does Caddy not have name.com in the new one? I think Caddy doesn't have name.com yet in the new one. That makes me so sad. Oh, here it is. Why wasn't this showing up before? Probably the same reason it's not showing up now. Okay, so that's just some scam site pretending to be Caddy. Okay, Caddy. Okay. There we go. All right, how do we find the provider code? Is this the code? This is not super clear. I wish they would give an example. Okay. TLS DNS Lego deprecated name.com. Oh, okay. Okay. So this requires these two. There we go. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. So I'm figuring out how we're going to do all this. I think I need to go figure out the wrapper too. That was one thing where I kind of left off with the Caddy L4. There was, I think it was called wrapper or wrap or something like that. I don't see it. Implement listener wrapper. Okay. Just frustrates me. I just give the full context. I just want the full context. Because I can't tell just from that where this config file is actually supposed to go. Listener wrappers. Connection. So it looks like it's down in the layer 4 stuff, right? Pipe connection, connection handle. Okay, let me try looking at the other one that I provided. Is there a connection? There's apps. Listener wrappers. I only tested in dev server though, because specialized piping is used in my caddy. I think okay. Add this to the appropriate path. What does that mean? Routes. So HTTP. Match TLS. This doesn't seem right. Oh, okay. If it's HTTP, do nothing. I'm so confused here. Implement listener wrapper for use with HTTP. First, adapt this caddy file, then add this to the appropriate path. H2C, I don't know what that means. Let's see. Listener wrappers. Alright, I'm going to try to understand again from the code, just looking at the code. Connection. Listener replacer. Handle. Listener. Register module. Okay, so this might give us the clue. Register module. Where else does that come up in this repository? Because that, I think that will tell us at what layer this is. Listener, handle, and this is all in listener. Pipe connection. Okay. So listener is new, and handlers, listener handler has a handle, and no-op handler has a handle. Okay, let's take a look in here and see if we can figure out other names of things that look understandable. There's a handler func. That actually is not as helpful as I'd imagined. I thought that there would be multiple things that have a handle function, and I'd be able to tell just from the name. Because here we have a no-op handler. That already existed. And we have a listener handler. So how does a list... So is that really... These are the only two functions that have a handle? Next handler, handler, wrap handler, handler func, no-op, listener. It's not what I was expecting. I was expecting to see other things that are at the same layer. Okay, maybe a little bit above here. Maybe I'll see something here. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to figure out... There's this issue... And in the issue, or in the pull request, the person just says, add this config to the appropriate place. But it's a new config that didn't exist before. It's a pull request to add config that didn't exist. What do you mean add it to the appropriate place? Which is the appropriate place? Because there's no documentation for this thing yet. No. Oh, hold on. I get back out of this and go back into this one. Okay. No, that's not what I want to do, because that's the same thing as this. I want to look at it. Okay, so see, he says here, add this to the appropriate path. Listener wrappers. Wraps the app and I just don't know where to use this. But it looks like I'm not really clear if I'd actually get the benefit that I was hoping for anyway. The idea was that once I do the other thing I'm doing, that rather than making another connection back around to itself, which that's how I solved the problem in Telebit, I think, is letting it pass the connection directly to the main normal handler. And that's not what's happening here. So, I don't know. Reverse proxy. I'm not clear what he's trying to do. Implement listener wrapper for use with HTTP app. Reverse proxy. It's going to match on HTTP and do nothing. It's going to match on TLS and handle it. Automatic HTTPS is disabled. I don't know why that would be. Listener wrappers. Okay, so there's two things I should check for. One, in this repository, let's look for other instances of register module. Register module. Register module. Well, that seems weird. Because how does it know what it is? Let's take a look here and see what handler looks like. Maybe... Oh, whoops. Handler's an empty struct. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's an interface. It's got stuff on it. Ah, here we go. So returns module information. Okay, layer 4 dot handlers dot echo. All right, let me look a little closer. See if I can. So here's something that I'm actually using. Is okay, subroute. I use that one. TLS. ALPN. I don't think that quite makes sense. But maybe I can see an example of ALPN being used. And maybe from that example, I can work this back. Or echo. Let's see where echo is used. Oh, bless me. Here we go. L4 echo. L4 handlers echo. Okay. Handler. So my guess is that it goes. It's I don't know. It's a handler. Where's the echo config though? Okay, I have an idea. Wrapper. It just doesn't make sense to me. Wrapper. Layer 4. Routes. This might be the wrong thing. Let's see, are there any issues that this is mentioned in? Yeah, this is the kind of thing. I'm going to read this issue and see if this guy is having the same problem that I'm having. Because I think I read enough of it before to decide that he was, which is why I landed on that other PR, because that other PR doesn't have enough information in it for me to make heads or tails of it. Okay. In a perfect world, I have one caddy which handles incoming traffic before terminating TLS, can decide to proxy connection instead of handling itself based on the SNI. Keeping the connection in process obviously benefits performance, yes, but also removes the need to wrap everything in the proxy protocol. Ah, yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't thinking about that, but if I have this thing connect as TCP, I have to wrap it in the proxy protocol because it needs to know at the TLS layer, it needs to know information from the TLS layer, which it can't know, and headers haven't been modified yet. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. But yes, I had to do this. I had to do this with Telebit. While exploring, there's various approaches. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just don't get it. Rapper listeners. Where would that go? And I don't see rapper listeners in the code. That's the other thing. I don't see this string in the code. All right, let's try to search for it. Oh, this is a clue, actually. This is a clue. So I think listener rappers is an arbitrary name. This is another thing that I get confused about. I need it to be really clear what names are arbitrary and what names are part of the... because we have key value pairs, I typically expect that the key is going to be a fixed value. So for example, in a person object, name is a fixed value. And then on the other side, the value, or fixed identifier, we could call it if we want to be more specific about the semantics. The name of the identifier is fixed. It's always called name. It's never called anything else. But the thing that's on the other side, name AJ, name Bob, name Susan, right? So one part is fixed and the other part is arbitrary. In the Caddy config, there are tons of things that are completely arbitrary because they're used as they're more used like a comment. So here's an object. So there's the key names are arbitrary. They're not quite IDs, I don't think. They're just comments. And so sometimes they look like they're keys because they'll be called something like SRV0. That kind of looks like a key. Maybe. But it's just a convention. It's SRV0 and then SRV1 and then SRV2. It's just arbitrary names. They don't actually mean anything. It's just generically, if it's a servery thing, you just call it SRV because it's a servery thing. I always try to make that clear in my documentation by prefixing things with either my or foo. Okay, here's something. Okay, header upgrade. I mean, this is just really terse and dense and difficult to... But it's I don't know a better way. I don't know a better way. So here, for example, servers. Apps. Is layer 4, is that a key or is that a value? I'm not sure. I don't know. Is servers a key or is it a value? I don't know. Is it a comment describing this type of thing or is it a specific identifier? But I guess what I could do is I could just throw it in somewhere and if it works, then it works. So I think that anything, I don't know. Okay, here we go. Listener wrappers. Wrapper is the proxy protocol. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. You know, sometimes I wonder, maybe I am the idiot. It seems like I have a harder and harder time understanding things. I think my brain is too full of ways that I expect things to be. And then when things violate those expectations, I just have a really hard time mapping what the heck something means. You know, there's just too many different ways that things are configured. And I just want some consistency. And then people post in comments without even getting the spacing in order. Okay, let me make sure that that other comment... Stop! Go away! I don't want this! Go away! Escape! Ugh. No, no, I just wanted to be able to type a slash, GitHub. Leave me be. There we go. Giving me daggone autocomplete. See, this is why I don't use VS Code. That exact reason. I just don't like stuff popping up. I'm trying to read, and I'm trying to type. And I don't like stuff popping up in front of what I'm trying to read. I don't like the way Siri does this either, you know? Let's see. Okay, so I think I know what happened here. I think that the PR was to make L4 implement the listener wrappers interface. I think that was what's going on here. Okay, so I need to take a better look at this. I just add the extra couple of brackets. Just when you post code in a comment, just prettify it and post at least the whole thing. You know, you could trim stuff out of the middle, but post syntactically correct examples, please, please. Brings this to mind. Never have I felt so close to another soul, and yet so helplessly alone, as when I search an error, and there's one result, a thread by someone with the same problem, and no answer, last posted in 2003. Who were you, Denver Coder died? What did you see? Yeah. And what the heck is H2C? Is that a revision of H2? Interesting. I really don't care about that. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, well, you probably saw it. There's a little bit of a delay, so you probably posted that right before I opened the search. All right, so this doesn't... I don't care about that. Okay. So this is kind of doing a weird thing. Listener wrappers. Alright, I think this is what I needed right here. I'm going to try this again. Okay, so if this works, that'd be great. I think I'm going to have to call it a night. I was hoping to get a little bit more done, but, you know, as always, it just took more than I was expecting. Okay. All right, so I think I've got this now. The question is that supposed to be HTTP or HTTPS? Oh, hey, sorry, I saw that you followed, but not in time. I didn't hear the little ding. I think I was sniffling my nose. But thanks for the follow. Okay. Another comment found this actually. I don't know. And I find that I have an incredibly difficult time reading TypeScript and React. And I actually have a difficult time reading most languages. I have just focused so much on languages that are really simple, like Go, JavaScript, Zig. And I just, I want things that have less syntax, less, I just want less. I don't want expressive languages. Expressive languages that have 10 different syntaxes that all look similar. It's frustrating. One thing, I wish JavaScript is a little bit less expressive in this way. I wish that we had another identifier, probably say the angle bracket, or maybe, I think they couldn't use the angle bracket because it was going to be mixed in with HTML and there was too many places where that could go wrong. But I really wish the JavaScript had, say a tuple operator. If it could have tuples, that would be nice. I guess that doesn't make as much sense, but it needs some way to distinguish between a struct and I guess a commented set. I don't know what symbol we'd use for that. Maybe we'd use the parentheses, although they seem like they're already overloaded in enough contexts. Function invocation, grouping of expressions. I don't know if there's any other places. And then we're already overloading the curly braces. I wonder if there's anything else. It just seems like the angle brackets would be the go-to on this one. Another possibility would be to allow 2 syntaxes for the square brackets. So say if you put key value pairs inside of square brackets, you have to keep putting key value pairs inside of square brackets, and that represents a set. But if you use key value pairs inside of curly braces, then that represents a struct. And so that way it could be unambiguous between what you're intending to do, and the syntax wouldn't be much more complicated, because either you're going to read a comma and you're going to know that it's an ordered list, or you're going to read a colon after a key. So either you're going to read a value and then a comma, or you're going to read a key and then a colon. Nice. No longer than today, I was playing with deploying containers on Proxmox, and I was thinking that I need to do something to automate this. We have very different points of view here. I want like Go, but the amount of copy and paste that you need to do for even the simplest tasks makes me very sad. I don't mind the copy and paste. Copy and paste it's not a big deal. That's what you have tools for. That's what things like ChatGPT are for, and Copilot and that kind of thing. And you don't even need stuff that's that fancy. You can just have little snippet macros in your editor. You can just basically hit spacebar, type 3 letters, and then hit spacebar again, and just boom. So that's the kind of thing where I think we need just better tooling. That shouldn't be a language problem. That should be have you ever heard of Emmet? Are you familiar with what Emmet is? That's the kind of stuff that we need, where really simple macro snippet type stuff. Speaking of sets, the fact that Go doesn't have them in the standard library is a WTF for me. Yeah, I like programming languages that are for idiots. And so Go fits the bill for me. And the thing is, in my estimation, most of the people that don't like Go and want more powerful tools aren't smart enough to use them. I think if you're struggling with something that's built for idiots like Go, and you want to reach for tools that you have to be a genius to figure out, now that let's put aside the whole thing about the copy paste, right? Copy paste is something that should be automated away, 100%. That is something, if you're not using tab 9, I don't know what's happening to tab 9. Tab 9 is great for Go. I actually did a little 30-second clip. So one day I just turned on the camera, started streaming, and I streamed for 30 or 45 seconds. And I just looked at the camera. I said, hey, I just found out something really cool you can do with Go in tab 9. Check this out. And then I just started editing a file, and tab 9 just started editing it for me. This was before Copilot was released. Probably about, I think they started doing their ad campaign about 6 months before Copilot came out. So it was a little bit of a miss in terms of timing. But, you know, it's the same thing. They might even be using GPT. I don't know. I don't know if they've got the partnership with Microsoft or not. Let's see. Does it say Microsoft anywhere on here? It would be kind of rude if Microsoft just kind of, you know, busted one of their own partners that way. But, yeah, tab 9 is kind of the original Copilot. In fact, I think that they even called it Copilot, and then GitHub called theirs Copilot. I think it was called tab 9 Copilot. And I remember something like that where I thought, oh no, they didn't. But they pretty much took, I think it was called Tabline. Yeah, I think it was called AI Copilot for software developers or something like that. And then GitHub came out with theirs. Well, Microsoft, because it's not GitHub, it's Microsoft. It's Microsoft is using GitHub as a way. It's the old, you know, it's the old Microsoft pattern: embrace, extend, extinguish. And they bought GitHub so that they could have the license to do whatever they want with the code without violating the terms of service and all that, so that they could run ChatGPT, which they had bought in years prior, or just GPT, OpenAI, which they bought in years prior. And then, you know, you take the cream and the coconut and mix the two together, right? Lime and the coconut. So, all right, and now leaked Llama 130 gigabyte model. What? I don't know what that means. But anyway, yeah, I'm totally with you on we need better tools, but I think that you should be able to read the stuff that's copy and pasted, and you should be able to write stuff that is a little writing something that's more expressive. But I'm commissioning AI script, and AI script is this way. It's more like Emmet, where I don't know what this llama thing is, but it's more like Emmet, where you can write some code, and then it will take the code and it will write more code than what you wrote. So what you get is very, very readable code, but you don't have to write out everything. Oh, third link. Let me go back here. Where was it? Did I already close it? Do I need to open it again? Or did I just switch tabs? 1, 2, 3. Wait, if this is stolen, if this is leaked, oh, okay. Well, this looks like... So they were using it. It was under the GPL3, but they weren't making it public, so they didn't have to obey the license. Is that how this comes about? Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. Okay. Anyway, what do I need to do here? I need to figure out... Okay, this was my listener. I need to figure out where I put that caddy stuff the other day. I think it's not here. I think it's in another VM. I think I've got it on this one. Whoops. Okay, here we go. There's my serve. Okay, I think that's the same one. So I'm going to do this. We're going to call this config.json, config.last known good. And then I think, if I'm understanding this correctly, pretty much this entire thing goes from being under apps to being under HTTP. Alright, let's see. We need a caddy file. I'm going to go back and look at this. Let me see what this comment said. Alright, let me try this. Alright, and we're going to do caddy adapt. Caddy file. And then instead of doing dash right, I think he did dash overwrite. Yeah. Okay. So I'm a little confused about this. Oh. Okay, now this is coming together for me. Automatic HTTPS disable. Oh, this is so weird though. I don't know where this is coming through. Okay, so it's like ChatGPT but offline. It's just a script that is GPL3. The whole model is very much illegal to use, at least in the USA. So in the US, it is illegal to violate a copyright. It is not illegal to receive or purchase something. So it is illegal to sell content that violates a copyright. It is not illegal to obtain something that violates a copyright. Now, then you get into the civil matter of it could be a breach of contract or a breach of terms, but it's not. Someone can't. Well, things happen for reasons that they shouldn't happen, that are not legal reasons all the time. But it's not legal. You know, if you have a collection of 10,000 burnt CDs, there is no, if you received them, if you purchased them or you received them, you did not violate a copyright if you did not make the copy. You know, you did not distribute it. Meta will come after it if you use it to make money. They might, because you can come after anyone for any reason. You don't have to have a legal reason or just cause or anything. You can sue anyone for any reason. It's up to the judge to then decide, does this actually violate a law? If you use trade secrets that you have obtained, let's see, how would that work? If I find out that the secret recipe to Coke is 20% sugar, 5% coca bean extract, and 75% water, and I sell the product that has that secret ingredient, there's nothing that Coke can do. If I had commissioned someone to steal it, that is probably some sort of conspiracy charge. But if it's a trade secret, that's why it's kept a trade secret, is that there is no legal protection. That's why we have corporate espionage, is because if you can do the corporate espionage and not get caught with the espionage, because the espionage may be illegal because you might be breaking and entering, you might be violating, some either civil or criminal law. But once you have obtained a trade secret, you simply have access to the trade secret. If they patent it, then it's not a trade secret. But if they patent it, then they have to release it to the public, because that's the bargain that you make with a patent, is that you share precise details of how something is done in order that someone in the same field could reconstruct it. And in exchange for making the information public, you prevent others from doing it. The risk with a patent is that much of the time, things that people try to patent aren't patentable because they're not novel and they're not, what's the word? So for something to be patentable, it needs to be something that someone in the profession wouldn't intuit on their own, right? So you couldn't patent an if block in a new language or something because anybody who's a programmer understands the basic logic there. So if I were to present you with a problem and say, what's 3 ways you could solve this? If I sample a few programmers and none of them come up with that solution, then it might be patentable. But if I sample a few programmers and ask them to come up with 3 ways to solve a problem, which is generally how many ways there are to solve a problem, given the trade-offs, there's usually 3 fairly optimal ways to do a thing. One benefiting memory, another benefiting speed, another benefiting convenience, or quickness, or whatever, quickness to write, to implement. So it would be, they could certainly come after you. They could certainly scare the pants off of you. But if the data isn't, if you're not distributing it, the data itself. And with this AI stuff, our law says that AI, anything produced by AI, is not copyrightable. But then there's the whole thing of, well, the AI is looking at things that are copyrightable to build its training model. So what do you do about that? But this was settled with the case of the copyright, monkey takes picture of self. So there's this thing right here. A photograph taken by a monkey cannot be copyrighted. And so AI falls into the same category because AI, first of all, people seem to take pride in the fact that they can't explain how the AI works, right? They can't describe why it picked whatever choices it picked. Whoa! Oh no! It's a raid! Oh! Hey, the dev junior. Or the junior dev. What's up? Hey, everybody. Who needs to read about monkeys when you have free llamas? That's what we were talking about. That's the whole thing we were talking about, is this database. Were you here before, Josue? Oh, there's a pumpkin. Hide. Oh! No! Okay, I'm back. I went hiding. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so we were talking about the llama thing and about... I don't understand all the context around it, but my understanding is it's not illegal to download something that someone has made available to you. It is illegal to make something available. It is illegal to distribute a copy of something that you do not own the copyright to. But it's not illegal in the United States to receive a copy of something that the person giving it to you did not have the right to give to you. And also trade secrets versus patents and some stuff like that. So whatever this thing is about the llama, I don't believe that Facebook... I believe that Facebook could scare your pants off, but I don't believe that they would actually have a legal right to any recourse for anything you do with a trade secret of theirs that has been leaked to the public. Because once the trade secret is leaked, that's... But then again, there's been other things like that where, a company has sued another company for copying items on their menu, like Cafe Rio and Costa Vida. And I don't know how that's shaken out. And there was also... Yeah, so there have been things that have been in a gray area, and maybe that is one of them. All right. But how you obtain something and what you use it for and how you distribute are different. So it doesn't really matter what the model weights are licensed under if they're just a trade secret. If you don't copy them, it's... All right, Josue, tell me, how is it illegal to make a profit off of it? If I obtain a trade secret, if a trade secret is leaked to the public, I now know the trade secret. There's no patent on the trade secret. I know the trade secret. I can use the trade secret to produce a thing. So the manual is leaked to the public. The manual has the instructions about the trade secret. I can't reproduce the manual, but I can use the instructions to do the thing, and I can sell the thing that I've learned how to do. Because there is no protection on a trade secret. Yes, I 100% agree. With enough money, they could tie you up in court for a long time. 100%. Yes, and this is a tactic that's often used. I think the most famous case of this is Monsanto. Monsanto makes genetically modified soybeans and other vegetables as well as grass, and they also make genetically modified weed killer. And so what they do is they genetically modify the soybean to be resistant to weed killer, so you can't get rid of it, and it spreads like a weed. And then any farm, and they've patented the genome of the soybean. I don't understand how that works. I don't understand how you can patent life, but they have patented it. And so what they do is they basically spread it into other farmers' fields, and then they test the soybeans. I don't know how they get the warrant to do this or whatever, but somehow they get access to trespass on the property of these farmers. They test the soybeans and they say, you have our soybean DNA mixed in with your soybean DNA. We're taking you to court. And so what they do is they've put out, I think there's a last hold of what you can count on one hand of soybean farmers in the United States that are not Monsanto contracted because of this. Yeah. But so copyright is copyright, not use right. Use is different than copy. I can read a book that I have obtained access to from someone who did not have the legal ability to give that to me. That is different. It is different to copy than to use. This is a different thing. Yeah, and yes. So I don't know about France, but I know in Great Britain, they have really, really strict and expansive copyright laws that are ridiculous. And I believe that in Great Britain, it would be illegal to download something that you do not have the license to. Copyright my genes. Just a CRISPR script, yeah. Seems like what's not an exact science? Look, people. Are we here to talk about monkeys and llamas? Are we here to do some listener wrappers so that we can get multiplexing, reverse proxying to a Proxmox container? Huh? Yeah, law is not an exact science, which is why all these people are talking about smart contracts revolutionizing the world. Yeah, it's not going to happen because people have to agree first. Anyway, so I think what I just found is that I take my entire config, and this was what I was going to do. What was it here? Where was I at? Was I at this one? Yeah. Okay. So I think what I do is I take my entire config. No, I don't want that. Is this what I want to do? Hold on. I'm a little confused. We're just gonna try something and see if it works. I think I take my entire config and I stick it underneath of essentially the under routes without any matching whatsoever. I think that's what I do. So let's try this. Oh, but the other thing is that I need... Let me try to walk this down. Okay, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I need 4 closing brackets. So, okay, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? So I've got Proxmox over here. And what I want to be able to do is run a script that will update the reverse host into whatever container and set up multiplexing over SSH so that through... And I realized I could use a jump box, and Josue, you made a really good argument for that the other day, and I think that I very well may implement that as well, but I'm going with this for now. Primarily because this is a generic solution that will work for anything. It'll work for database connections, it'll work for SSH. I mean, you name it, you can wrap it in TLS and unwrap it on the other end. It'll work for VNC, remote desktop, Samba. Well, actually, will it work for Samba? Does Samba work that way? Yeah, but pretty much you can tunnel anything through TLS, and because of the server name indicator, the SNI, it gives you a route to get there. Okay, so... listen... routes. Okay. So I think all of this goes away. And I don't think that route goes away quite. And I think I add 4 more of these, maybe? Oh, this one didn't have a closing bracket. Is it that? Yeah, dang it. How do you count these things? Okay. Alright, but then we're going to do this. We're going to say routes. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Hold on. We're going to do this, right? How did I screw it up? Okay. So routes. This. That's a key. This would be inside. So just... right? And then... okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. So I think inside of this routes is where I need to put this other wrapper. And if I do that, then it can... what's happening now is I'm actually saying, okay, the normal Caddy HTTPS handler is going to handle the connection. But... actually, I need to take a look at another example. There's so many matchers and things, you know, so many different places. Okay. Wrapper. So listener wrappers, routes. So this thing. Okay, and I think I actually do need this match. HTTP, I don't know. But I think I need to basically not have a handler. How do I do this? It's too many layers deep. I can't understand it. Okay, do I need... Listener wrappers, wrapper layer 4, match on TLS. Okay, routes, servers, listener wrappers. So listener wrappers, not routes. So, okay, is this at the same level as listen? That's what I need to figure out. There's listen, and then listen wrappers. Okay, so listen wrappers. Wrapper. I think this is what it becomes. And this might not have any difference. Let's see. Nope. Doesn't fly. Okay. So this one's going to have a matcher. And that's going to end routes. And then it's going to end... Wait. Okay, so that's going to end the routes. And then there's going to be another wrapper that ends. And then there's now going to be another... This that ends. So then we need another one of these and another one of these. Is that... Dang it. I just keep throwing them in different orders until it works. I've not had this problem before. I don't think I've ever worked with JSON that's so deeply nested that I can't figure out where I need to insert the thing. Okay, let's back this up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get hold of this. Hold on. Okay. So what I need is this piece here. So let's move this all the way the heck out there. This is what I need. And I'm going to replace routes in both places. This is how I'm going to figure it out. So listener wrapper to routes. So this routes is going to go away. It's going to be replaced with listener wrappers. So, okay, this is opening a bracket. So this is going to need on the other side, it's going to need a close and a close and a close, right? So wherever this presently closes, we're going to need that instead. Fingers crossed? Okay. There we go. Looks like really bad JSON. Too many levels deep. Not that JSON is ever good. Ouch. Dagger to the heart. All right, Greg. You're banned. You're out. Boom. The Weirs line things. Yeah. Yeah, I could take some of that right now. Well, I don't know, because once you paste in a thing, then it becomes difficult again. So I think the thing is what I did. I have to be really cautious about, let me indent this thing out of the way so I can just focus on this piece. So this indentation is out of the way. Because even with the lines, once you paste something in, the lines get all screwed up. All right. So routes, and I don't think I actually need this anymore. I think I can get rid of one square bracket and one curly bracket. So one square and one curly. Okay. Listener wrappers. All right, so this is where it gets confusing. Well, the whole thing's confusing. but I'm trying to tell it that I want it to pass off the connection to be handled by this other system. And then once that system has handled the connection, this will take back control. So the reverse proxy bit is still supposed to be in there somewhere. And that's the part that I may have screwed up here. So I need to go take a look at that again real quick. Because right now, what's going to happen is basically nothing. Well, let's see. I don't actually want it to do the dialing. This is what I want to get rid of. No, on this one I do want to do the dialing. On this one, I want it to handle it. On HTTP, I actually don't want it to handle it. I want it to pass it through to the main connection. So this one should not terminate the sequence. So we're just going to worry about it with the one first. But this, I mean, this is something else to try to read through this. All these layers. Handle routes, handle routes, handle routes, wrapper, handle routes. And I think what I'll do for now is I'll get rid of the secondary. Okay, so it's going to handle... Okay, come on. Handle routes. Okay, this one to the... Okay, so I think I just want to get rid of this one right now. And I can add that back once I get the first one working. So this, what this should do is it should terminate TLS. And if SSH is what's underneath the TLS, it should forward that to the host. Otherwise, it should fall back to the main server handler. That's what I think is going on here. So again, the idea is that I'm going to spin up an instance, and at the same time that I spin up an instance, and I already have that, by the way, for anybody who's interested in the Proxmox stuff, let me just go ahead and give you access to this. I mean, whoops, that's not what I want to do. I didn't want to go to the blog. I wanted to go to the GitHub. Nope, not PG backup. Here we go. This is pretty simple at this point. I don't actually plan to use it in this form. I like to prototype things out in Bash so that I kind of understand how to use them. So you can get this from the documentation. In fact, I should have linked to the documentation here. But what I did instead, because the problem with the documentation is you often lack the context of where the thing applies or which values are arbitrary and which ones are selectable and yada yada. So what I did is I just opened up the dev console and I reverse engineered it from the dev console. So if you're interested in that, Proxmox SH. I haven't seen the whole series of videos, so I do not understand the whole panorama of your problem. Can you explain why Nginx's reverse proxy is not a feasible solution for the rest of the case? I just don't... Why would you use Nginx when you got Caddy? That's the question. I don't think that Nginx can do all of this fancy stuff. Well, Nginx can't terminate the TLS. I think Nginx now has SNI routing. I'm not sure. But generally, people recommend HA proxy for SNI routing. Right? So maybe Nginx does SNI routing. I don't recall. But it's just a simple matter of why would you use Nginx when Caddy is available? You know, if you've got a tool that does much better. Now, granted, normally you don't need a config that's this complex, but if you've got a tool that's much, much better, it's faster, it's more automated and convenient, it's got better support, why use the alternative? Well, but here's the thing. I wanted him to use YAML at the beginning, and he was stuck on the Caddy file. And you can use the Caddy file, right? So the Caddy file, you use this, and then when it turns into JSON, it expands out quite huge because the JSON is more generic. But that's the other thing too, right? Is because I want to be able to use this, I want to be able to update this in real time. So I post the JSON to the Caddy admin interface, and then boom, it changes. And it's got the new stuff. It starts setting up the TLS. So the fact that it gives me an API, because my alternative to this would have been to resurrect Telebit, and I still might, because I think that Telebit was designed not for this exact purpose, but very, very close to it in terms of the SNI routing capabilities. And Caddy does a lot more, but I think I might want something that's specifically tuned to the SNI routing stuff. So we'll see. Anyway, let me get back to this JSON config here. This is not the normal Caddy config. This is the advanced Caddy config for the API. But once you dig into this stuff, then you're in it. But I mean, you want to modify this programmatically. Once I have the segment of JSON that I need, modifying it programmatically and getting it 100% correct without any possibility of a syntax error is super easy. I don't have to write a custom parser. I don't have to write a custom stringifier. And that is ideal. But there's very little documentation on this. It's an experimental feature. It could break in the future in terms of what the API looks like. Well, this API is probably not going to break, but some of the options might break. The generic API of the whole, routes and match and handle and route and match and handle, route and match and handle. I get why that object is that way because I've done the same thing in another project, and this is what it ends up looking like. Anyway, so what are the two? I think there's a few things that I still need to handle here. So this one, listen wrappers, and then I think, I'm not sure. It's so hard to tell because the people that are making comments about this stuff, they're not doing exactly what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to I'm trying to take bits and pieces and figure this thing out. I think this is required because I think what I'm saying is, and in fact, I think this actually should go first. Yeah, I'm gonna put this first because regardless of where it belongs in the config, I want to disable automatic HTTPS for this portion because I'm going to do the listener wrapper before the TLS is terminated so that I can do the SNI routing. All right. And then I need to have the other piece. Let me go back and try to get this. So here's what this looks like as JSON. All right. So then I have routes. And from there, I actually think that what I want this to do is pretty simple. I can write this in the Caddy file and have this generated and then get my example for what this needs to be from that point forward. It is faster than Nginx, except for in some extremely specific use cases. There are benchmarks where you can find that Nginx is faster, but you have to have extremely specifically tuned for for the exact scenario. Other than that, Caddy is faster. Caddy is faster by default. And when you get to doing all the little fine-tuning bits, because you got to think about this way, and I think I mentioned this before. Nginx was built decades ago. Is it full decades or just 1 decade and some change? I think it's full decades. And so it's got to prioritize backwards compatibility over performance. And so all of the performance options are turned off by default. You can turn them on all on, and you can do all the tweaking, but by default, Go is taking advantage of performance by default, right? And then Caddy has all of the options tuned for the general, the 80-20 case by default. So, yeah, it's if you completely tune Nginx up to the hilt in its optimal use case, I think it's something like 10% faster. But for a basic site, for the stuff that's on webinstall.dev, for this type of Caddy config, this is what your config looks like, and everything's great. You got automatic HTTPS. It's fairly simple config. Well, this does not look like it's more convenient. Okay, well, do this in Nginx. And then write a script that can generate those files. Give me Nginx that does SNI routing with SSH multiplexing. Honestly, it would have been simpler to write it in Go. That's what it would have been simpler to write it in Go, because it's not that hard to write it in Go. But there's the maintainability aspect where I plan to be using Caddy for other things, and I plan to be using the Caddy API because I want Caddy to automatically be handling these things. When I add a new system, I want everything to just get hooked up. Just boom, boom, boom. And so, generally speaking, the JSON format for that, the Caddy file looks a lot nicer, right? This is the Caddy file. When you look at that in the JSON format, it's handlers and matchers and submatchers and handlers and well, this is what it ends up being, is this, right? So that's way more verbose. But this is also much more explicit in terms of how it's actually going through the system. And you have more control over it. I don't really need control over it for this use case. For this use case, I don't need the control over it. It's for the use case of the multiplexing and whatnot. Okay, anyway, where was I at? I was going to paste in this thing. Which one was this thing? Routes. Okay, and I think the routes could just go here and that would be fine. Yeah. So it's going to say, handle gzip if it can. Wait. Okay, I'm a little confused now myself. Where does it say http reverse proxy.upstream.host and port? Where was that? Where was that configured? Okay, I'm a little confused by that. Let me look at that one more time. Oh, upstream host port. Got it. but it's going to reverse proxy to example.com. Oh. Wait, did this... I'm trying to figure out whether this one... Also, this feature is undocumented. That's why I'm going through all this headache. So this is an experimental, undocumented feature. So I don't know if I need that. Example.com, reverse proxy. Upstream host port. So I'm not sure if in this example, let me see if I can see. This is a little confusing to me because this sounds like it's just going back on itself. So I think I need to change this to, because I think he just put example in both places. I could be wrong. Because otherwise I don't see where this is terminating at. Okay. All right, transport protocol, HTTP, TLS, upstreams, dial, whatever.net. Okay, so let me go to this one. Okay, let me get caught up on comments. You did this before for personal web page. Not cover this full. Do you think an Ansible playbook could automate configuring this by hand? I don't know. I don't really know anything about Ansible. I've heard the word before, but it's not typically the world that I live in. But I don't think this is a common scenario. I could be wrong, but there's a set of tools for this type of multiplexing that are used that are not super popular. So there's SLT, SSHTP, HTTP. Josue's jumpbox solution is a good solution. It's a better solution in the general case for SSH. I'm trying to solve a problem of being able to use one IP address and then use TLS as the routing mechanism. And I don't think that's a common case because typically at cloud scale, you just get internal networks on the inside, 10.0 whatever addresses, and then you do all of the routing and set up all the configuration on the inside, and then you have one external IP address. This is a little bit different because I'm looking at having segmented containers that are run by different people, not run by me, not run at the organizational level. And it may be a bad idea. It may be something that just turns out to be stupid. The time that I spend on this is probably going to be more than the $40 a month for the entire year. It might already have been that, right? So, but it's part of it is personal interest and exploration. So for some of the things, I don't necessarily have a solid logical reason. This is just something I want to explore. My writing is trash today because, no, just leave off the today and the because. Just, my writing is trash. Yeah, sucker. No, I get it. Sorry, I'm being a sore loser here. I just moved back to a split ortho linear keyboard after going into normal distribution for 3 weeks and back to it now. I am still considering a split ortholinear. Which one do you use? My fingers are like really confused right now. Ansible is a godsend for sysadmin things. I see. Yeah, I don't really live in the sysadmin world. I am stepping out of my zone. I do a lot of low-level things, encryption, authentication, a lot of architecture style things. I do Node, I do Go, I do a moderate amount of database stuff. I know more about databases than most people, but I'm not a database admin. I occasionally do stuff on the front end, but more on the library and browser side. Never on the CSS side. And just enough of the HTML to give the JavaScript the handles to do the things that it may need to do. Easy Ergodox. I think Ergodox is one of the ones that I heard about. Maybe even from you earlier. I don't remember who mentioned. Let me see if this is the one. There's also, what is it, the Moonlander? Oh, that is the Moonlander one. Okay. So for the benefit of everybody else, it wants me to download the SVG. So something's wrong with they've got a bad link on their page, or possibly something going wrong from the ad stuff. Yeah, I'm really, really stuck on how I do my escape key and my enter key. And so I have been stuck on the Mac keyboard for a long time because of that reason. All right. Let me try to get back here again. All right, where was I at? So I was looking for the reverse proxy upstream, and then this is going to be the whatever.com. I don't actually want to do TLS on this. I think if I can, I want to not match on the ALPN in this other config. So, listener wrappers. So this was all working before. Oh, crap. Why does it say example A? Oh, I think that I actually did register example A. I think that's why it says that. I think... Did I actually get example A? No. No. That's not what I had. Hold on. We need to change this example A to be LXC, I think it was 100. Oh no, where did it go? Gross. Gross. Sorry. The thumb cluster feels like they're way too far. Moonlander's the new one. I'll buy one of those two later. Oh, I gotta actually turn that off. It's too bright. Something got too bright. You gotta check out the ratings before you do, though. Go to ratings.com. So you do keyboard reviews. Best mechanical, best ergonomic. They think the Logitech's still the way to go, man. Office 8.8, programming 7. Let's look for one that's got a solid 10 on the programming. Programming 8. So the split. People say the split's good. This one's got ergonomics 9. This is ergonomics 9.5. So, There you go. It works 12 months with one charge. That's cool. Ergodox is a notable mention. But the Kinesis, it's the true programming legend. I wonder how they come to the... Oh, okay. Oh, maybe by programming they don't mean coding. Maybe what they mean is that you can program it. I might try it out at some point. Okay. Back to the task at hand. I'm so afraid to try this. It's not going to work. I think the TLS or the SSH might work. Well, actually, I don't think I need to match this at all. I think I just say match HTTP, and I think that's it. I think I can just delete that because I'm going to say if it matches SSH, handle it there. Otherwise, it's going to fall through into the default matcher. Handle. Okay, this is going to be terminal true, I think. In key rollover. You can press all keys and they will all register. Huh. Okay. So that one is terminal, this one's not terminal, and that terminal may not do anything. Oh, man. Eventually, I think I will adapt Telebit for this, because it's just so much easier to use a solution that's custom tailored to a thing than something that's incredibly generic, and you have to go through this kind of config because of how generic it is. All right, but again, these are the routes. And this... Okay, none of that. Okay, listener wrappers. SSH, that one's going to be terminal, and this one's going to go through. So I just need to see where the example is, example.com. And then instead, I'm going to do lxc100.duckdns.org. I think that's what I had there. Example. Okay, LXC. Alright, so now let me start up that Python process, I guess. I just wanted a really simple Python web server. Yeah, I went into, I think, serve, and then did I have a public folder or something in here? Yeah, so I just ran the Python web server so that I have something to check against. I'm going to try bringing it up. I don't expect it to work. I expect it to give me an unhelpful error message. But if I get really lucky, it could be a helpful error message. All right. Unknown field terminal. Okay, great. That's cool. I'll take that. That's actually not that bad. So the one that I put here, it's not allowed there. That was actually a really helpful error message. Whoa. It worked? And you can see my duck DNS token right there. So if you want to go snipe my domain right underneath me, you can do it. I wish they wouldn't print that in here. I don't know why. Oh, it's probably because I have debug on. Oh, wait, no, this says, example B didn't work. Okay, let me get rid of that right now. LXC 101. LXC 101. Okay. That's what it was telling me. Okay, cool. So, with that out of the way, now maybe I can try that worked? Really? Hold on. Did that work on the first try? Well, I guess it was the second try because there was the one option that... Hey, Latjor. Thanks for the follow. Okay, I'm not going to sound the happy bell yet. Because that is too soon. Okay, no. We get partial credit. I mean, even if the other thing isn't working, because I think I just need to change my config in my SSH file, because that's still pointing to 2243, 443, like you see. So, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to acknowledge the fact that through some miracle, it was able to get the request through to port 3000. So, we get that.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here. Huge success.
Okay. Got to celebrate the little wins. All right, now I just changed my SSH config so that it doesn't have that port. No way. No way. This worked? Okay, let's just make sure that I'm on the right system and it's not just the stuff that I had running last time still running in the background. I'll be so upset if I was testing it's the wrong thing, but close port, okay. Failed to connect. So we stop the service. It stops working. All right, let's stop Python. Bad gateway. We start Python. We get a hello. I'm still in shock. I want to celebrate, or not that I want, I know I should celebrate this moment. I'm just in shock. I'm having denial of reality that after all of those brackets, with one mistake of copying something that I didn't need to copy, that actually had an incredibly helpful error message that told me exactly what needed to change, that after working on this thing for what, 2 hours now, that it worked on the first try. Well, second try. Doesn't feel right. Okay, so first thing, something worked. Let's save it. All right. Yeah, this is the thing. Never change something when it's working. Okay, now I need to make some slight, or I want to make some slight changes to this. One, I want to see if we can get rid of this ALPN thing. And if the Python will still work. Because the problem was that, and I think it will. This was one of the reasons I wanted to do this, because Caddy can handle HTTP 2, and if I tell it to reverse proxy, it will reverse proxy it by default as HTTP 1. And with the other configuration, I had to put in ALPN HTTP 1.1 because Caddy wasn't handling the proxying through its normal routing. It was handling it through the layer 4 routing, which is a different system, because this was not a forethought, it was an afterthought. So there's basically two completely separate routing systems in Caddy, and I'm taking advantage of just kind of piping one through the other because of some PR that somebody made that's undocumented, and the only way that you can find out about it is from reading the issues. So let me go ahead and get rid of this connection policies. No, that was right. Oh, that's wrong. So now this should still work. This is my hope. This is how we know that we won. This still works with letting Caddy handle the HTTP 2 and HTTP 3 protocols, and Python will be none the wiser. So Python will receive HTTP 1 even though curl is doing HTTP 2. Didn't work. Is something else wrong? Let's see. Okay, that worked. That didn't work. Okay, so the question is, why did Caddy empty reply from server? Let's dig a little deeper on that. Empty reply from server. Maybe I need the connection policies to be there. Where was that one at? So I don't remember at what layer this thing was. Good thing I made a copy of it, because... So connection policies after LXC 100 before subroute. So, can I just get rid of this? Because maybe it needs a connection policy, but the connection policy can be empty. It needs to have something to do nothing with. Oops. Oh, I should probably test that it works again. Hold on, let me test that I can get it working again. So let's put what we know was a working config back in there. That was the only change we made. Let's see if it still works. Okay. Works. Alright, now let's see. Handle. ALPN. What if we just get rid of this part? So it has a connection policy. Connection policy is empty. Nope, doesn't work. Okay. So let's say that the connection policies are H2 preferred and HTTP 1.1. Okay. Let's see if it works now. No, it doesn't. Okay, so let's try HTTP1 H2. I imagine that this would set, it may set priority. Okay, yeah, so that sets priority. Okay, let me catch up on some chat here. Technophobic technologist, my people. All right. You're Lando? You're Lando? Oh, that's awesome. I'm looking at your little icon here. Smooth like butter. Thank you so much for all of that celebration with me. Nice. Same feeling when I managed to connect from my tablet to my Windows 11 PC to a virtual Debian on it using IPv6 on both devices using different ISPs. That does feel magical, doesn't it? Yeah, every time I try to use IPv6, the way you know that you're using IPv6 is because things break. That's when you're like, wait a minute, you go into your network settings, turn off IPv6, everything works. I once had a problem. I enabled jumbo packets. Everything worked fine except I think it was Stripe. It was either Stripe or it was one of the similar alternatives, Paddle or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was Stripe. It caused a Java error. So basically the router software was running Java or something, or the gateway software was running Java. And it had some weird, strange null pointer exception that I would get back from clicking the payment button when Jumbo Packets was turned on. So I learned not to do that. That was on Gigabit with IPv6 and all that. Oh, you showed up with the luck. Good. It will still initially connect using HTTP 1.1 with an upgrade HTTP 2 header. So actually, I'm not sure that this is the case because we're looking at TLS. So in the TLS layer, it's doing protocol negotiation before HTTP happens. So TLS says, here are some protocols I support and my preference. And then the server responds back, here are the protocols that I will select from what you support in my order of preference. And that's the handshake. So this is one of the things with, I think it was TLS 1.2. I think it was in TLS 1.2, or maybe it's only TLS 1.3. I'm not certain. But if it's the older version of TLS, if it's TLS 1.1, then yes, it terminates, it does the TLS handshake and terminates the TLS, and then it has to do HTTP 1 and then upgrade. But when it's TLS, I don't remember if it's 1.2 or 1.3, the ALPN negotiation establishes which protocol should be used beforehand, and that gets communicated downstream so that the application caddy knows what to do with it. Yeah. It might have been bit aligned. 1.2. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was 1.2. And I think that SNI was introduced in 1.0. Not 100% sure. Okay. All right, so are we in a working state now? So now I can post and I can ask a question. Because now I've done my homework. I mean, I could post and ask a question before, but now I've done my homework. Okay. I'm going to put this down below. Hey, Greg. Thanks. I hope to see you around in the future. By the way, I'm going to end the stream soon. So if you've got somebody you'd like me to raid, let me know. I'm going to check and see if any of the usuals are on. None of my usuals are on. I don't have a lot of usuals at this hour. This is kind of the dead hour because it's the Atlantic transition, you know? Okay. Okay. Alright. Grepping around the code and issues, I finally realized that HTTP listeners is not just a comment like SRV0, but is actually a directive for HTTP, not layer 4. I thought that using the So I got things working with HTTP 1.1 just like they were with the, let's see what it, the layer 4 reverse proxy. Oops. I was hoping that H2 would pass through to, let's see, H2 would pass through to words. The caddy handler and get reverse proxied down to HTTP 1.1 as needed. As happens normally. Let's see. Here's my minimal config. I'm going to just get rid of this. In particular, if I remove the ALPN selector, LPN policy, I can't connect to the host on localhost 3000. think I might make a separate issue for this. Maybe I just get rid of this. I think I'm going to try that. I think that's the last thing I'm going to try, and then I'm just going to go to bed because it's past my bedtime. All right, Rafael Luba. Okay, I will check on that. Let's find out who this character is. Oh. All right, I just gave him a follow. In case it takes, sometimes it takes a couple minutes before you're allowed to raid somebody. So let me finish this out, and then we'll raid him. I don't know what Jai is, but working on a compiler sounds cool. All right, let's see here. I can't. The reverse proxy to the Python program on localhost 3000 fails with no log in either Caddy or that program. The connection just closes. Have to put this down there. Okay. Alright, it seems most of the doc pages I've visited just show literal or similar very short snippets with no idea of where it goes or how to use it. That's a miracle. That is a flippin' miracle. All right, we're going to try that. One more thing. And I've got the good working config backed up. So here's what I think. I think we turn back on automatic HTTPS. We don't disable it. Then we go down into the listener here, and then with this handle we match so routes match, and then I think I have to move this down. So I think I would put this down in the match And then I think I just move this handle down here. I don't know if this is going to work, though. And here's the reason. I'm matching it here. Because I think that it may be handling the TLS before it gets to the listener wrapper. That's my concern. So basically I want to say, hey, if you get to here, handle the TLS, but we can't, dang it, this is the problem. We can't unwrap it without figuring out what it is first. So it can't know that it's SSH. Work in progress programming language designed for games. Any chance you can help a data analyst student get a job and build a portfolio? I could probably find some other connections. Ya, amigos. Que bien lengua de programación. So I don't do data analyst stuff, but I know a guy who knows a guy. All right, so that's not going to work. Okay, let me see if I can... I think there was somebody else who made a comment about this. I'm just going to look in the comments again and see if somebody else said something about H2. I think there's some tweaks that may be made, like H2C is not compatible with H2. One is over plain text, the other over TLS. Also, if ALPN setting allow HTTP to Golang server will only serve H2 or H1. I just don't know. What was 100% clippable? Josh, we got a clip. I think it was when I don't know. But what am I going to do? What am I going to do with that one sentence? What are we talking about when I said, "Ya, amigos, que bien lengua de programación"? You know, yeah, we're gonna. Ya, amigos, que bien lenguaje. Wait, no, that's lenguaje. Lenguaje? Is that a real thing? Was it lenguaje? That was lingua. Is lenguaje? De programación. Programación. Yeah. I don't know how we turn that into a clip, though. That's the thing. All right. Did anybody... Let's put all of our brains together. How do we solve this problem? TLS has to be terminated before we go to the reverse proxy. I've got a thought. All right, let's make sure this still works. But I've got a thought. All right, that's working. I've got a thought. My thought is this. I will know if we're reverse proxying or if we're serving a file. I think. I can know, at least. I can have a checkbox. So let's say, let me go back to my little example here. See, I like doing it this way. I think this is a better way to do it. what I want to test is if Caddy is handling it, if we don't need to worry about the reverse proxy and Caddy's handling it, then can we let it select H2? And I think the answer will be yeah. So we could still... but we don't know what the route is ahead of time. Okay. Well... reverse proxy... All right, we're just gonna put this in. Now this is gonna create a billion more sub-route mabobs. There's another way to do this, but this is gonna be a little cray-cray. All right, so see, look at this Mojanker. That's just insane, right? So let's just worry about the sub-route that has the group 2, the match. I think this is it, right? So let me actually comment this out for a second. I wanted to leave this in here. Whoops. I need to tell it how to handle a caddy file. Comment stuff, Vim commentary, it gets a little aggressive. Okay, actually, we're gonna go even simpler for the purposes at hand. Okay. Handle, match, host. We're just going to go straight for the handle. Okay, is this the right one? Yeah, that's the right bracket. This is where the HTML style syntax does come in handy. It's terrible to put the endings on, but at least you can tell where the ending is. So, you know, tomato, potato, 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. All right. Config dot. What are we doing? Okay, handler. Handle. I don't think I need the sub route or the routes or any of that stuff. I think I'd take all of that away. Okay, I think I can take all of that away. I think I can take all of that away. And for the purposes of this, I think we'd take all of this away. Okay, and this had a handle. I don't think we needed that. In fact, encodings, gzip, we don't need any of that. Okay, so we don't need this. We don't need this. It seems like they're in the wrong order. You tricksy little Trixie. Okay, which order did it have it in? Where did it have the encodings? It had the encodings in the middle. So, for the sake of keeping it what it was, I'm going to move the encodings down to the middle as well. Just because it's an array, order could matter. I think order does matter in this case. Handler vars root. Okay. Handler file caddy server. Okay, cool. All right. Now I'm going to try this again. We're going to see if it works. And what I expect is that it will work and that we won't be getting an answer back from Python anymore. Okay. So I think we can shut down Python now. And now we're dealing with Caddy. Okay. Which means that if we change this ALPN to H2, interesting. Now that I did not expect. Huh. That defied my expectations. Because I was expecting that because it's Caddy, and Caddy handles H2, that it would handle H2. So maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Maybe, for example, it needs to be H2C. I don't know. I'm gonna throw that in there. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm just going to throw it in there, just see what sticks. Okay. I think that there's something. I bet there's a config that could be stuck in here. Probably proxy protocol stuff. That's my guess. It would have to. There's probably something that needs to use the proxy protocol. Possibly on both ends. Possibly adding it here and reading it there. But whatever, I'm done for the night. It'd be really cool if I could at least get an error log here, but I got nothing. And I don't know why that would be. All right. By the way, if you don't have iTerm2 tools, or yeah, I think iTerm, what is it? iTerm, where's, oh, that's in my home. iTerm2, yeah, iTerm2 utils. If you do not have that, you are living below your privileges, and you deserve to get it because it has things like IT2 or IT2 copy, which is like PB copy on Mac. So I can take this and it puts it into my copy buffer over the network, and I can go paste it. It's very nice. Also, it's what makes it so that my screen changes colors when I go this, whoops, and then I do this. iTerm2 utils. Got that up on webinstall.dev as well. iTerm2 utils. Bloop. All right, well, I'm going to go check out this issue, and then we are done for realsies. I will dump y'all on Raphael. We'll do a little raid. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I think there might have been one other thing that I did wrong. Whoops, hold on. Let me check this out before I go. Sorry, there's one more thing that I just remembered. There was a part of the config where I said automatic HTTPS. I want to see what happens if I remove this. Well, one, actually, I want to see that I didn't break the SSH multiplexing. So let me check that I didn't break the SSH multiplexing so that this isn't just a bunk experiment. Okay. SSH multiplexing not broken. I think this will break the SSH multiplexing. We shall see. I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, okay, it breaks it. Yeah, so it looks like there's some piece of information that doesn't get passed through. All right. So that, okay. Ah! Okay, well there we go. There needs to be a thank you. I'll put the heart. That's close enough. Alright, so I need to watch this issue. How do I watch an issue? All right, y'all. Thanks for joining in. Just one more, TM. Yeah. I am about to colon WQ. Yes. I'm going to catch up on comments, and then I'm going to click the raid button over here, okay? I'm going to prepare the raid. So I'll answer a few comments, and then the raid will happen, and that will be that, and I will resume life. It's almost the same as lengua, but when we use it in other contexts like programming language. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I get that. It's kind of like, gosh, I'm mixing up my Albanian right now because I only got one foreign language slot in my brain, and all the foreign languages that I've ever learned at all, they just kind of swim around together, and whatever pops out first pops out first. Because there's Conosco, to know, as in familiarity, and then there is the other one, that's to know as in facts. And so I get it. So it's kind of it's different. Lengua as in the way we speak, and then linguae as not what we speak. Body language, silent. Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah. Saber. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, I'm out. Thanks for joining in. If you love the music, spread the love. There's the music. OC Remix. And if you want to like, sub, follow. Like, sub, follow. Now, I will warn you. This was a medium energy stream, I would say. Well, maybe a medium high. I'm about every other stream, I'm just like, and then the next stream I'll be like, yeah! And then the next stream I'll be, you know. So it just depends on the day. But, you know, I have 2 or 3 good ones, and then maybe 2 or 3 bad ones. Ah, dang it. I'm making it to bed before 3. This is progress. I did make it to bed before 2. And there we go. So, thanks so much for joining in. I'll catch y'all later. We had good success overall, so I'm going to give us a solid. For as much as it could be figured out, we got it figured out. And with that, adios.